Hello. So today we're going to be talking about some things that I wish I knew when I first started arm wrestling. This video is going to be for beginners. If you're intermediate or experienced, what I'm about to say may sound or like common sense, but this is a good starting point for beginners. These are things that I wish I knew when I first started, and I hope that some other people that are starting arm wrestling will have a better starting point than I did. So first, the biggest misinterpretation I've heard about arm wrestling is that moving your whole body is cheating, that using your body weight is cheating. And this couldn't be further from the truth. Arm wrestling is a full body sport. It is not, I'm going to move my arm like this. I'm going to try to get their hand to touch the table. This is not arm wrestling. I don't even know what you would call this. Arm wrestling is a full body exercise. If you do it right, you may even get sore in your legs. There's a lot of strategies and a lot of complexities with arm wrestling. There's a lot of really unique things you can do with it. But I'm not going to go over any of those in this video. This video is going to be purely for how to start your journey on arm wrestling. The second biggest thing actually going into arm wrestling here is your arm position. So in arm wrestling, the biggest thing is trying to keep your arm closed. You do not want your arm greater than 90 degrees. Once your arm gets opened up past 90 degrees, your arm is compromised. You are screwed. If the other person knows what they're doing, you will probably lose. And the third thing I'm going to go over today is how to open up your opponent's arm. Now this may sound a little cheaty to you if you've never arm wrestled or seen arm wrestling before. This is where you're going to use your back. You're going to use your lat, and you're going to try to open up the other person's arm. Now, a lot of people that haven't really arm wrestled before, they would think of this. But we know that arm wrestling is a full body sport, and therefore we're allowed to use our back. We're allowed to use any muscle that we want in our body. Maybe not our teeth. So, how this works. We're going to be in that 90 degrees. Slightly closer, slightly less than 90 degree position with our elbow, and we're going to try to pull back. We're going to pull back with our whole body, and we're going to try to open up their arm. So we're attempting to make their bicep open up so that they're greater than 90 degrees. Because if they get greater than 90 degrees, they're weaker, and we have a lot more control over how we want to take this match. If we want to do something called a press, I want to do a top roll, I want to do a king's move. There's a lot of different strategies you can take once you get into this position. But this is one of the most necessary things for arm wrestling at the beginner level. As soon as the match starts, we're gonna go back. We're gonna try to pull them backwards, trying to keep our bicep at that 90 degrees. If your bicep opens up as you're going down, you might want to try to get back up and hold on to your bicep again. Because if you open up your own bicep, you're going to be weaker because your arm is opening up past that 90 degrees. So you want to try to stay at that 90 degrees. But say you do get them open. You do open up their bicep with this move, and you get into this position. Once you get into this position and their arm is way opened up, there's a lot of different things you can do. But for people that haven't really arm wrestled, it's pretty much over. Once you get into this position, I think the safest approach to both protecting your arm and your opponent is just to sink down. And you're just going to sink down onto your knee, onto your butt, whatever table you're sitting at. Shrunk down, and I'm holding them like this. I'm using like my chest. I'm pressing against the table like this. My chest is getting pressed against the table, but I'm able to hold them in this position because their bicep is opened up. They're not able to apply that much pressure to me, whereas my bicep is closed. I have way more strength here. They're eventually going to tire themselves out. Eventually, it's going to be an easy pin. Said I'll probably make a future video on some of the strategies once you get into this advantageous position, but for now, that's all.